The clock reads 11:42 p.m. when a weathered black Ford F-150 pulls up to Pump 3 on Mike's Gas and Go gas station. Through the storefront window, Danny, a gas pump worker, watches the driver step out. Tall, athletic build, military haircut. There's a certain way he carries himself, scanning the surroundings with practiced ease. An Army Ranger's duffel bag sits in the truck's back seat. Staff Sergeant Marcus Reed stretches his shoulders, fighting off the fatigue of 8 straight hours on the road. His sister Sarah's college graduation is tomorrow afternoon in Atlanta, and he's promised to be there. It's the first time he's seeing his family since returning from his 3rd deployment 4 months ago. The night air carries the sharp bite of winter, and Marcus's breath forms small clouds as he starts pumping gas. His phone buzzes. A text from Sarah. "You better not miss tomorrow, big brother. Love you." Marcus smiled, typing back. "Wouldn't miss it for the world, kiddo." The distant rumble of motorcycles breaks the silence. Danny's head snaps up from his phone, face draining of color. He knows that sound. Everyone around here knows that sound. Marcus continues filling his tank, but his posture shifts subtly. Years of combat training kick in automatically. Threat assessment, identifying exits, cataloging potential weapons. Through the store window, he catches Danny's fearful expression. The kid's already reaching for his phone. 6 motorcycles round the corner, chrome gleaming under the harsh station lights. They circle Marcus's truck like sharks, the growl of their engines echoing off the empty pumps. The steel serpents have arrived. Breathtaking inspiration, Marcus pulled in on his stop. Their leader kills his engine last. Kane Davidson stands 6'4", with arms thick as tree trunks and a face that tells stories of violence. A fresh bruise colors his left eye, and his knuckles are scraped raw. The other bikers fall in behind him. Spider, a wiry man with prison tattoos crawling up his neck. Duke, Kane's right-hand man with a reputation for making problems disappear. And 3 others, each carrying themselves with the dangerous swagger of men who answer to no one. "Well, well," Kane's voice carries across the lot. "Look what we got here, boys. One of Uncle Sam's finest." He slides off his bike, boots crunching on scattered gravel. A butterfly knife glints on his belt, well worn and ready. "Don't see many of your kind around here." Marcus maintains his focus on the gas pump's digital display. $47.82, $47.83, $47.84. Each number ticking up feels like a countdown to something inevitable. "Nothing to say, soldier." Kane steps closer, bourbon heavy on his breath. "Or maybe you think you're too good to talk to folks like us." Through the store window, Marcus sees Danny frantically dialing his phone. Smart kid. But help, if it's coming, won't arrive in time. "Just getting gas," Marcus says evenly, replacing the nozzle. "No trouble." Kane's laugh is ugly, theatrical. "Trouble? Nah, we're just being friendly. Right, Spider?" Spider spits a stream of tobacco juice onto Marcus's front tire. "Real friendly." "Who sends you?" Marcus's jaw tightens, but he doesn't react. He's faced worse in Kandahar. But as he turns toward the store, Kane steps directly in his path. "You know what I see when I look at you?" Kane's voice drops lower, meant for Marcus alone. The theatrical swagger falls away, replaced by something raw and personal. "I see my little brother, Tommy. Marine Corps. Came back from Iraq in a box because some officer like you gave bad orders." Now Marcus understands. This isn't random. This isn't even about him. This is about grief twisted into rage, about pain looking for a target. He says, "Colonel, I need to talk to you." "I'm sorry about your brother," Marcus says carefully. "But this isn't the way to honor his memory." Kane's face twists. "Don't you dare talk about his memory." He shoves Marcus hard, sending him back against the truck. "You don't know shit about honor." The other bikers form a loose circle, blocking any escape route. Inside the store, Danny is frantically talking into his phone, but his voice shakes too much to be understood. The fluorescent lights flicker once, twice, casting strange shadows across the pavement. Marcus straightens up slowly, hands open at his sides. Non-threatening, but ready. Last chance to walk away. Or what? Spider laughs, pulling out a tire iron from his bike's saddlebag. You gonna show us some of that fancy army training? The moment stretches like a rubber band about to snap. In that fraction of a second, Marcus's mind flashes back. A sun-baked training ground at Fort Benning 3 years ago. Marcus lies in the Georgia mud, lungs burning from the obstacle course. His drill sergeant, Master Sergeant Williams, stands over him. Control, Reed. That's what separates soldiers from thugs. When they go low, we stay disciplined. When they lose control, we keep ours. The moment you let anger drive your actions is the moment you've already lost. Kane throws the first punch. A wild haymaker fueled by rage and bourbon. Marcus slips it easily, muscle memory taking over. But he doesn't counter. Not yet. Fight back, Kane roars, swinging again. Fight back, you coward! This time Marcus catches Kane's arm and uses his momentum to send him stumbling into Spider. The tire iron clatters to the ground. The other bikers surge forward, but Marcus is already moving. He fights like a soldier, not a brawler. Every movement is efficient, calculated. When Duke tries to grab him from behind, Marcus drops his center of gravity and flips him over his shoulder. When Spider recovers and comes at him with a chain, Marcus catches it around his forearm and yanks him off balance. But it's Kane who poses the real threat. The gang leader pulls the butterfly knife, its blade catching the fluorescent light. I'm gonna cut that smug look right off your face, he says. Marcus backs up, scanning for options. His eyes land on the fallen tire iron. As Kane lunges with the knife, Marcus rolls, snatches up the iron, and comes up in a defensive stance. Disappear, Kane the command suddenly. Metal meets metal with a sharp clang. Your brother, Marcus says between block strikes. He was a Marine. He understood duty. Honor. This? This is just hate. Shut up. Kane's attacks become wilder, more desperate. You don't know anything. Swift made a motion. I know loss, Marcus counters, deflecting another slash. I've lost brothers too, but this won't bring them back. Kandahar province, 14 months ago. A dusty road, an IED explosion. Marcus kneeling beside Private James Torres, holding pressure on a wound that won't stop bleeding. Torres's eyes finding his. Tell my mom. Tell her I wasn't scared. Marcus still writes to Torres's mother every month. The words hit harder than any punch. Kane hesitates for a split second, and Marcus sees his opening. He disarms Kane with a quick twist, sending the knife skittering under a car. The fight drains from Kane's eyes, replaced by something else. Something broken. He drops to his knees, staring at nothing. The other bikers freeze, unsure. They've never seen their leader like this. Spider takes a step forward, chain still dangling from his fist. But Duke grabs his arm. Your brother, Marcus says, keeping his voice low, steady. What was his name again? Tommy, Kane whispers. And for a moment, he's not a fearsome gang leader. He's just a grieving brother. Thomas Davidson, Lance Corporal, 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines. Marcus nods slowly. Tell me about him. Kane looks up, surprised by the question. In the distance, sirens begin to wail, but neither man moves. He was a good kid, Kane's voice cracks. Smart, could have gone to college, done anything, but all he ever wanted was to serve, make a difference. Mom begged him not to enlist, but he trails off, lost in memory. Believe in something bigger than himself, Marcus finishes. Kane nods, tears mixing with the blood on his face. Got the letter 6 months into his deployment. Regret to inform you, like his whole life could be summed up in a form letter. His face looks as though the earth is watching from the sky. Earth, longing for his return. The sirens grow closer. Red and blue lights begin to paint the gas station in alternating colors. The other bikers mount their bikes, engines roaring to life. Boss, we gotta go, Spider shouts. But Kane doesn't move. I couldn't protect him, he says, almost to himself. My little brother. I was supposed to protect him. Marcus kneels down beside him, close enough to speak privately. The hardest thing about losing someone in service isn't the loss itself. It's finding a way to honor their sacrifice without letting the grief destroy you. Kane looks at him sharply. You sound like you know. Private James Torres, Kandahar Province. 14 months ago. I held him while he died. Marcus's voice remained steady, but his eyes show the weight of the memory. I write to his mother every month, not because it brings him back, but because it helps me remember why he served. Why we all serve. 1,000 to be more exact. Past his building and across the street. I'm so tired, Kane admits, and Marcus knows he's not talking about physical exhaustion. So damn tired of being angry. Marcus helps Kane to his feet just as 2 police cruisers box them in. Officers emerge with weapons drawn, shouting commands. Hands where we can see them. Marcus complies immediately, voice calm. I'm Staff Sergeant Marcus Reed, U.S. Army Rangers. My military ID is in my back pocket. The next few minutes are a blur of questions, statements, and Danny the attendant confirming Marcus's version of events. Kane sits quietly in the back of a patrol car, looking older and somehow smaller than he did an hour ago. Before they take Kane away, Marcus approaches the car. The officer nearby tenses, but Marcus just leans down to the window. There's a VA support group that meets Tuesday nights at the community center in Riverside. Combat veterans, family members, people who understand. He pauses. Tommy would want you to heal, not self-destruct. Kane meets his eyes for a long moment, then nods once. It's small, but it's something. After giving his statement and checking on Danny, Marcus finally gets back in his truck. His phone shows 3 missed calls from Sarah. He'll explain everything to her tomorrow. In his rearview mirror, he watches the police cars pull away, red and blue lights fading into the darkness. The gas station returns to its quiet vigil over the empty highway. Marcus starts his engine, thoughts drifting to the graduation ceremony ahead. Sarah will be wearing her cap and gown, beaming with pride. Their parents will take too many photos. And somewhere in that crowd, Marcus will stand tall, remembering all those who never got the chance to see their siblings graduate. As he pulls onto the highway, Marcus thinks about Kane, about Tommy, about Private Torres, about how grief can either break us or reshape us into something stronger, about how sometimes the greatest battles we face aren't fought with fists or weapons, but with understanding and compassion. The road stretches out before him, empty and dark. But Marcus Reed drives on, carrying with him a reminder that the hardest fights aren't always the ones we can see. And sometimes, the greatest victory isn't in defeating an enemy, it's in finding the humanity beneath the hate. In his pocket, his phone buzzes again. Another text from Sarah. She sent something. Hope you're okay. Love you, hero. Marcus smiles, thinking how some titles, brother, soldier, friend, carry more weight than any medal ever could. The highway signs point toward Atlanta, toward family, toward home. Marcus adjusts his rearview mirror one last time, leaving the gas station and its night of revelations behind. But he knows that somewhere in this small town, another warrior is beginning his own journey toward healing. And maybe that's the most important victory of all.